The best part of Animal Kingdom is the animals. But did you know that you could take your Animal Kingdom day to a whole other level by taking advantage of one of the animal tours? Hi, I'm Molly, and I want to talk to you about one of my favorite experiences I've ever done at Disney World, which was Up Close with Rhinos. For those of you who aren't familiar, there are currently 4 different animal tours offered at Animal Kingdom: Wild Africa Trek, Savor the Savanna, Caring for Giants, and by far the most popular, as well as my favorite, and what we're talking about today, Up Close with Rhinos. So Up Close with Rhinos is a 60-minute tour. It has a cost that, as of today when this video was filmed, is posted on Disney World's website as being $49 a person. To me, I do not think that that is astronomical by any means, especially with how expensive a lot of stuff is in Disney World these days. So what exactly is this tour and what can you expect? Well, like all animal tours, you will check in at the animal tour kiosk in Africa, located just across from Kilimanjaro Safaris. You will check in approximately 15 minutes before your tour, and this is where they will have you sign your waivers, get you checked in, get you your name tag, and then give you an opportunity to use the bathrooms, grab a drink of water, whatever you need to do before your tour guide arrives to meet your group. Once your group is all together, then your tour guide is actually going to escort you backstage through this big gate. Once backstage, you will walk through basically what looks like a giant parking lot. It wasn't too interesting back there by any means. It's just a bunch of buildings and, like I said, a parking lot. Now, Disney does not allow any filming or photography backstage, so unfortunately, I couldn't film any of this to show you guys. However, Rafiki's Planet Watch, if you are taking the train from Harambe in Africa up to Conservation Station, where Rafiki's Planet Watch is, you will actually go by the rhino barns on the train. So I do have footage of that for you to see. Once we were back there, we all loaded into a van, which had air conditioning, which was very nice because it was hot. And we had a short, about 5-minute drive. Granted, you gotta remember, it's not like our driver was going super fast. We're backstage, and after about 5 minutes, we arrived at the rhino barns. Once we got off of the bus, we were greeted by 2 of the rhino keepers, and they took us inside of the rhino barn to tell us a little bit more about rhinos and specifically teach us about the dangers that they face in the wild, which for rhinos happens to be humans are the most dangerous thing that they face out there. In some cultures, their horn is considered to have magical powers, which obviously has not ever been proven scientifically, and so a lot of rhinos are killed for their horns. We learned all about conservation efforts that are going on, what Animal Kingdom and Disney specifically are doing, and something cool that we learned was that the price of our tour, that is actually 100% donated to conservation efforts for rhinos, which I thought was a nice little touch and kind of just interesting. After we had our little spiel from the keepers, they took us back outside and around to the side of the rhino barns to meet a rhino. And while Disney cannot promise that you will get to actually meet a rhino on this tour, they are rhinos. They are wild animals and they are humongous. You cannot make a rhino do anything that a rhino does not want to do. Thankfully, though, on this day, the rhino that we were meeting was the one and only Dugan. If you have watched the documentary on Disney Plus about Animal Kingdom, then you know who Dugan is. And if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it because it makes your Animal Kingdom day even more fun to go see these animals that you've already been watching about and you kind of know about them and you want to see how they're doing, and kind of just gives you a little insight into their personality. And Dugan came across as a ladies' man on the documentary, and he did not disappoint in person. He was so sweet and so happy to be there. You could tell that he just loved doing the tours and that he was actually excited to participate in this, which was great for us as visitors of the tour group because that meant that we got to interact with him. Now, there are giant concrete pylons that were separating us and Dugan, so he was confined. He could not fit through the pylons, although our arms could reach in the pylons in order to pet him and give him a few scratches. So while one keeper was at the front of him feeding him treats to keep him happy and occupied, the other keeper was managing our small groups as we got to go up. So basically the party that you came with was the group that you were able to go up and approach Dugan. There were 3 of us in my party, so we went up as a group of 3, and we got about, I would say, 30, 60 seconds to talk to him and scratch his side, and I was a little shocked at what he felt like. I don't know quite what I thought a rhino was gonna feel like, but it was very coarse and kind of unlike anything I've ever touched. The closest thing I could describe it to would be a basketball mixed with like an emery nail board file. And one of the keepers even said that she has to be careful how much she scratches him, because she will just, be scratching away, petting him, and then realize that she's basically shaved off all of her nails, filing them while petting the rhinos. So, but he, again, was such a sweetheart. You really could tell that he was just infatuated with his keepers. He was just as crazy about them as they were about him. And I guess he is also pretty popular with all the lady rhinos too. They're having to keep him separated to not have more baby rhinos because they're out of space. So it was a really, really neat experience. And getting to meet Dugan as our rhino was kind of just the cherry on top. So is Up Close with Rhinos worth it? Absolutely. It's only an hour out of your Animal Kingdom day, fits nicely right before lunch. It just works with the flow, and it is such a cool experience. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this hands down my favorite thing I've ever done in Disney World. And I've done some pretty cool things in Disney World, but that by far is still my favorite thing I've ever done. I've never done anything like that before. I don't think I ever will get to do anything like that before. You understand that a rhino is a large animal, but it's not until you are standing a foot away from a rhino that you realize just how big of an animal a rhino is. And so that was just really, really, really cool. Once again, once in a lifetime opportunity, and I would highly, highly recommend it. I have done the Caring for Giants tour before, and I do really like elephants. Rhinos are my favorite animal, so again, this tour kind of had a leg up on that, but I do really like elephants. And while I did find the Caring for Elephant Giants tour interesting, and I was not, I didn't regret that we did that tour, but if I had to choose between Caring for Giants and Up Close with Rhinos, I would definitely pick Up Close with Rhinos. The fact that you actually just get to get that close up to such a magnificent creature, it's amazing. I cannot recommend this tour highly enough. I've yet to talk to one single person who had anything bad to say about this tour. If anything, it is just such a hard tour to secure that if you do get to go on it, you are incredibly, incredibly lucky, and you are in for a great experience. How do you book Up Close with Rhinos? The booking window for this will open starting at midnight, 60 days out. Now, if you are a Disney Resort guest, your booking window will actually open up 60 days out from the day that you are set to check into your resort, not the park day that you're trying to book this for. So if you are a resort guest, that gives you a leg up on just regular guests who are trying to book this. I always suggest trying to book the tour for later into your vacation to try and give you as much of an edge as possible at booking before that true 60-day mark. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it super informative, and I hope that you get to go experience Up Close with Rhinos for yourself, because I know you will absolutely enjoy it.